Welcome to Architectural Design with progeCAD. This is Exploring the Architectural Design Tools. To find links to any downloadable resources available for this video, make sure to check the description box below. For this video, I'll be using a new blank drawing, which I have already opened. To access the AEC-3D architecture tools, I'll need to change my workspace to ribbon full. I'll click on the workspace pull-down from the QAT and select it there. These tools used to be a separate add-in called Easy Arch that you had to opt into using during installation. However, recently these tools have been integrated into progeCAD itself. You can find them under the AEC-Architecture Tool tab in the full ribbon. By the way, I'll just be referring to this tab as AEC going forward. If you're a fan of using the tool palettes, you can find most of the tools in the AEC Arch tab. However, if you prefer to use progeCAD in the CAD Classic toolbar-based workspace, they are accessible. I'll quickly change to that workspace for you. The AEC toolbars aren't on by default, but I can easily access them by right-clicking anywhere in the menu area above the editor. Selecting Show Toolbar, then AEC, I'll turn on the AEC Doors toolbar. I'll close the toolbar and return to Ribbon Full from the workspace icon in the status bar. You can actually access the toolbars from any workspace, but they're a bit redundant when using full ribbon. Let's look at each ribbon panel in the AEC tab. The first panel is your Draw panel. It contains tools to draw walls, doors, openings, windows, curtain walls, stairs, and railings. All of your 2D tools are in Home or 2D Draw. When you draw in the AEC package, it's different than traditional AEC drafting, where you might draw parallel lines that represent a wall. Here, you're drawing an actual wall object. It knows what it's made of and what kinds of other objects it can host. For instance, a wall can host a window or a door. Notice to the left of the tools that I just mentioned, there is an icon titled AEC Styles Manager. Much like the 2D tools that are managed by styles, such as text and dimensions, the AEC objects are managed by styles as well. We'll return to discuss AEC styles more in depth later. The next panel is the Planes panel. This is where you access roof and ceiling plane symbols to attach to your walls, and use the Plane Solve tool to create your roof or ceiling planes. Next are your Levels tools. By default, the initial level is the first floor, labeled as FL01. The Levels Manager is where you can add or delete other levels. A level has settings applied to it. Use the Level Settings dialog to define or edit these. There's a handy pull-down menu to help you quickly change levels as you create your design. Next are a couple of conversion tools that can help you convert existing 2D geometry into walls or slabs. The next panel contains your section and elevation tools. We'll see more of these in an upcoming video. The IFC Tools panel has a validation tool along with the tool to convert a Revit file to IFC format. Finally, the Views panel lets you access the Real-Time Orbit tool, return to Plan View, create a camera, set the background, or switch to a provided view projection. Before we get started working with the AEC tools, we'll need to become familiar with different ways to view our models in 3D. I'll start with the bracketed words in the upper left-hand corner of our drawing editor. These are called the viewport tools. I'll click on the left side that reads Top. The menu will expand to display a section of orthographic projections such as left, right, and front. There are also two sections where you can choose an isometric projection, one from above and another from below. At the bottom, you can toggle between a parallel or a perspective projection. To demonstrate, I'll click on Southwest Isometric. Notice that the UCS icon spins into place, the cursor changes into its 3D form, and even the nav cube in the upper right is spun into the proper view plane. To continue, I'll go back to the top view. Since I brought up the view cube, let's go there next, and then we'll return to the right side of the viewport controls. Normally displayed in its compact manner, it becomes fully visible and functional when you roll over it with your cursor. Outside of the cube itself, there are some icons. One is a house, and another is a down arrow. You can set various settings with them, including designating the current view as your home view, which you can return to at any time by clicking on the house. The icon at the bottom that reads WCS allows quick access to any custom user coordinate systems you may have, or the orthographic projections as we saw in the viewport tools. The two curved arrows will rotate your view 90 degrees from the current Z-axis. And finally, in the middle, the cube has arrows around the edges which provide quick access to the back, front, and sides. When you click on the main tile of each side, you'll go right to that view. Finally, each corner of the cube is a shortcut to view your model in the corresponding isometric projection. I'll click on the southwest isometric corner to duplicate what we saw using the viewport controls. I'm going to stay in this isometric view to show you the next viewing tool, but to see it best, I'll need some kind of 3D object, so I'll quickly add a box. There's an easy way to access the orbit command that most people use. Hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and press down on the scroll wheel on your mouse. You are now in free orbit mode. Just move your mouse around to view the model. When you're satisfied with the view, release both buttons. Let's go back to the right side of the viewport tools. So far, we've viewed our box in 2D wireframe. When you click on the right side, you'll get a menu of other visual styles that are included with progeCAD's 3D environment. You can choose from conceptual, hidden, realistic, or regular wireframe. Changing the visual style of your model can often help you better visualize it as you work. You can find out more information, download their 30-day free trial, or purchase your own progeCAD license at www.progecad.com.